Hey, good morning, everybody. Just a quick video about nothing in particular. Um, I was at my mother's house yesterday, um, and she was asking me some questions about some techniques that I use, and wanted to cover a few of those today. And we got us a little canvas here to practice on, and I'm kind of weird. I always paint on the 16 by 20, but don't be limited by that. Whatever uh, sort of painting that you're doing uh, is not limited in size, so you use whatever you like. Some people paint on canvases as small as 5 by 5. So just depends on what you like. But I did want to cover um, a few things today, and one of them was the liquid white that we put on the back of the canvas. And you can buy liquid white in Hobby Lobby now in like a pint jar. It's about $30 for a jar. But I do not do that. Um, I actually mix it myself. And actually at Hobby Lobby, I did get some stuff that was on clearance the other day. They had linseed oil for $4.99. This is about $20 for a bottle of this. But this is what I used the cold pressed linseed oil, and I got some little containers uh, that can be that's got the cap where you can seal them, and this is for my liquid white that I use, and it's real simple. I always keep um, you can buy these little dowels in any length that you want to at any craft store. But I got a couple of different size dowels. This long dowel, if I want to draw a straight line, it'll help you to do so. So you can. That's just a little trick. Try to freehand draw a straight line, and that's not easy. But this will allow you to do that. Uh, but at any rate, I just break off a little piece of the dowel, and I use it to mix my titanium white up. But I'm going to mix the linseed oil with the titanium white. Of course, it's childproof, so. But you really want to just add just a little bit at a time. And you'll see that the linseed oil is almost a yellow color, but don't let that bother you. But you want it to be, and some titanium white paints that you get are going to be thicker or thinner than others. So I would say that this is going to be about 3-to-1 mix uh, between the titanium white and the linseed oil. You can't tell it, but that titanium white starts to get a sheen to it. But and you want it to be fairly loose. So uh, just add a little bit at a time. I would say you want it to be a little bit looser than maybe a soft butter, just enough to spread on the canvas. Because when you put liquid white, which is what we did. We got white. We mixed a liquid linseed oil medium with it, and we got liquid white. But I don't think there's the looser that you get it, really the less you're going to use, because it's going to spread thinner. But you can dip down in there and see that it almost starts to slide down the stick. That's how you can tell when you dip it in there that you've got it about right. There's really no right or wrong, but because if you put it on there too thick, you could actually just put a titanium white on there and wipe it off, but it's not going to allow that paint to slide when you do your backgrounds. So cold pressed linseed oil, that's what I use. And a little mixing dowel, I'll get all the excess off of it. And this is just big enough for a 1-inch brush to go down in. Put the cap back on it, and you're good to go. Get me some paint here. Wasn't really expecting to paint anything, but we'll sit and talk a little while. I'm on my way to Michael's this afternoon because they've got canvases. Excuse me, this weekend, or buy one get one free. So you can spend a lot of money on canvas if you want to. That's all a personal preference. I prefer to be kind of frugal, so if I can get 10 canvases for about $10, then you can bet that's where I'm going to be on my way to. So just for the heck of it, we got us some fresh liquid white here, and we'll go ahead and just dip down in there and cover our canvas. And I could use that 2-inch brush, but some people don't have a 2-inch brush, so you can do the same thing with 1-inch as you do with the 2-inch. You'll see a lot of people on Facebook, YouTube, what have you, using a 2-inch brush, but that is simply to save them time. So I kind of use little X strokes when I cover the background. That's a good stroke to practice right there, because you're going to use it a lot. Let's see, the further out on the end of the brush you get, the longer that little X stroke is. The closer in, the smaller that particular stroke is. Make sure you get your canvas all the way covered. And do you some vertical strokes, horizontal strokes. Just make sure you got a good coverage on the canvas. And these natural hair brushes, you're going to get some of them come off. You just take the end of it, flick that off. you'll be good. Now, common mistake, and I'm telling you all the mistakes I'm making because I'm fairly new at painting myself. This is all I've only been doing this uh, since last November, and hadn't been painting a whole lot. So I've learned a lot online, but the biggest lessons I've learned are painting myself and uh, correcting the mistakes that I've made, and plus, helping my mother learn to paint has helped me to increase my knowledge. Because you really don't test your knowledge until you try to tell somebody else how to do something. So without even knowing it, y'all are helping me. Another thing, when I clean my brushes, I've got just a bucket that's got I don't know if you can see, it's got the screen in the bottom of it, so I can scrub my brush on it, and it'll quickly clean your brushes. And then to dry my brushes, I'll just show this to you. I've got this old garbage can, and it's got a beater rack in it. Now you could probably get a soap rack from the dollar store or whatever fits down in the can. And when you beat it back and forth, you're going to come out with a clean, dry brush, and all your paint cleaner winds up in the bottom that you can reuse. Then after I clean my brush, I will just dry it on a napkin. Most of the time you don't even have to do that. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. The liquid white is on here, but you can stick your finger on it and you can still see your fingerprint. But I don't really like it on there that thick. Remember I talked about the thinner coats being easier to use. So I'll take just some paper towels and make sure that the excess is off of there. Still pretty wet, see? Even with me wiping it with the paper towel, I still have liquid white on there. That canvas is going to hold a whole lot. But anyway, I was over at Mama's yesterday and we were talking about doing skies and water. And let me get this off of my mug. Get that where you all can see it. There we go. So doing skies, very, very simple. Skies, clouds, and water. That's the start of the majority of your paintings. You've already got white on this canvas. So whatever primary color that you put on there is going to be a little bit lighter. And naturally you start at the top and work your way down, not really adding any paint. And the further down you get, the lighter the horizon's going to get. You go walk out on the beach tonight or this afternoon, and you'll look when the sun starts to set. You'll see that the further down towards the horizon, the lighter it gets. That's kind of a separator. So, by the way, I've only got 3 little colors here in blue. A tube of blue paint will probably last you a lifetime because it doesn't take much. So I like to just tap that color in like so. Get a good even dispersion on the brush and do these random, those X strokes that we talked about. Just do those random. See how it's getting lighter towards the bottom? My brush is running out of paint, and I'm letting it do that. So I've left some lighter spots in here. With just that one little dab of blue paint, I'm good. You saw how little paint I had on the end of my brush. But what we got is we got a bunch of brush strokes on here. So we want to make it look natural. And to do that, we're just going to blend it in. And, you know, you can have a 1-inch, 2-inch blending brush or a 1-inch. But we said we were going to use 1-inch today because they're just as effective as a 2-inch, and that's exactly what we're going to use. I happen to have 2, so I don't have to go back and clean my other one. But if you just start at the top, just keep on with those X strokes. Pretty firm pressure to get those brush strokes out. If you want it to be a little bit more subtle, just go back with your X strokes. And before I left those little white spots in there, you know, your sky is not going to be solid blue. Just lighter towards the bottom. So pretty basic sky scene. But see that white that's under there? You're utilizing it to blend that paint. Those X strokes. And I've found holding my brush out on the end like that, which is one mistake I've been making, will get a better brush stroke, and it kind of just fades down into nothing. So that's our basic blue sky. But if I want to make it a little bit more dynamic, I can use that same brush, get a little bit more of that blue, and just go up in the corners. You want to kind of frame it in. Just in the corners and across the top. I'm going to use my little blending brush and get all those little brush strokes out. And the more paint that you use, the more difficult it's going to be to get those little brush strokes out. And I don't want any brush strokes. I want it to almost look airbrushed. So you keep working it until all that's gone. No right or wrong. I'm just intentionally making it darker on the edges and lighter in the middle. So, all food for thought. What I can do is take that same blue. I'm not even cleaning my brush. And I'm going to take a little bit of sap green. You're thinking, what in the world is he going to use the green for? We're doing sky and we're doing sea. But, see, I got a little bit of sap green on the palette. If I take just a touch of green and add it in with that blue, if I want to know what this is going to look like, I can reach over here and get me a little bit of white, and that's going to give me the color that's going to be on the canvas. So, just mix it on the brush. Now, on my water, we did X strokes up here until we got all the brush strokes out. We made it look good and blended. Let's talk about the water. Get this where all y'all can see it. Besides looking at me, that's got to be hard enough on you. On my water, I'm going to do just some horizontal strokes with it. So we got two different textures. I don't know the artistic word for it, but we got our sky and our water's got these horizontal lines in it to where we got a distinct difference between the two. So, hope that makes sense to everybody. And I'm going to leave this a little bit lighter in the middle. We might want to make this a little light source. But the thing is I didn't mix that a whole lot. And you can see it's got different, a little green up here, a little blue, a little green. I want that to be kind of marbled. I don't want to mix it too terribly well. So that is just about as basic as you can get of a sky and water scene. Now I can come in and put land on here, a beach, whatever I want, but this is the basis of my painting. Blue sky, water. If I'm going to have water in here anywhere, I might only have a stream coming down here, just right in this area. but I've got my water lines wherever I want it, wherever I feel like my painting is going to go. Let me clean my brush real quick. And I think the big thing is, for me, is with this particular method, I was trying to do all the work myself instead of having the brush do the work. But me and Mama was talking about clouds yesterday. She had done a painting that was, you know, it had some opportunity, but it was easily fixed. And the opportunity was that she wasn't satisfied with it. You know, to any other person it might look fine, but she was the artist, so she wasn't completely satisfied with it, with the way that her clouds looked. So we went back and talked about it. Let me say one thing on clouds. I got white covered with a blue. So if I went back with a solid white on clouds, then it's not going to stand out as much. So what I want to do is cut off a little bit of white and just put a dab of red in there. I almost want to make it look cotton candy like. Because remember this, your paint is going to look much different on this clear palette than it will on that canvas. So I think that's good for our clouds. Now you can use any kind of brush to put clouds in that you want to. Let's see if we can go back up to the top here. Okay, maybe I can see that all right. But this brush has become one of my favorite. It's a 1-inch round brush, and they're all natural bristle brushes. And this is just a real easy way to do clouds. But think about one thing when you do a cloud. All you want to concentrate on, if you want to make the shape of a cloud, just tap to whatever shape you want it and only worry about the outside edge, what it looks like. So I'm going to load up a little bit of paint here on my, just tap some in to my 1-inch brush, and it'll kind of have a heel and a toe to it. So I'm going to make some clouds, and don't really know where they're going to start at. And if you feel like you're running out of paint, just go back to your canvas. You see how that pink looks completely different up against that dark blue. Stands out a little bit more. So this particular cloud, we just stamped in an outline. And whatever you think's best, if you think that cloud comes up high, that's fine. However you want it. Now, without touching this top edge, 1-inch brush again, I'm going to take the corner of it and just blend this bottom part in. till it disappears. Just leave that edge alone. And there might be another little cloud that comes up this way. Right up under it. And you can continually layer these clouds however you want them. Got my little blender brush. And see, I didn't even clean that brush. I just knocked the paint off of it. And just real lightly with the edge. With the edge of the brush. I'm going to knock that off of there. Just going to blend it. It's pretty fun. We'll put another one. How about one coming down here? You might have it coming all the way down into the horizon. We'll take our brush, just the corner, and blend it down. So it disappears. See, I kind of got into my water there. That's okay. Now, I got a couple of basic cloud shapes in here. I'll clean my brush. So pretty much I just stamped the outline of what clouds I wanted and blended the bottom parts so anybody can make a pretty effective cloud. Make sure my brush is good, right? Once again, a 1-inch brush, I cleaned it and dried it. I'm just going to do a circular motion just to kind of fluff these clouds up. Just touch it. Just making big circles. Okay. Then we can go back real lightly. Just barely touch it. And you can work these things to death. If I wanted to, I'll fluff those a little bit more. So, fairly basic, and you can just keep on layering and layering all that you want till you get the desired effect that you want. But that's just an example. You know, we said we had a light source in here, so think about it. I mean, do I want to come in and put a big yellow sun here? No, I don't. But I can dip me a little bit of white in here and lighten this area up. Use those little X strokes so we can see basically where my light source is coming from. If I want to make a little sun right there, little finger painting. It's good. All about that illusion of distance. So we went down in, when we blended this cloud down, we went down in the horizon. If you were doing this on a dry canvas, there would have been no way that I could have blended that back in. I'm just going to go all the way across on our water. And you can see naturally how it leaves us a little bit lighter spot inside of here. If I don't like it, if I think I covered it up too much, I can add me a little light in there. So these are a few basics that I've been discussing over the last few days that I wanted to share with you. And I can go in and put a beach in here. I could put an island or whatever, but a lot of your seascape, landscape paintings are going to start just like we started. Basic sky, darker at the top, lighter at the bottom. Your water, if you got any water, with horizontal strokes. And you've got the starting layer of a pretty neat picture. And there's just so many things to think about that you can do. Your water can be a little bit darker the further out you are. I mean, with this technique of painting, there's anything. I mean, there's the possibilities are endless, and of course, the closer in you come, it can be a little bit lighter. Add you a little bit of green into your water. But I just want an opportunity to show you some of my techniques. Of course, I'm an amateur painter, so very amateur. There's probably a lot of things I'm doing wrong and correct that I need to correct, but there may be a few that I'm doing right. But this is how I would start a seascape, so I wanted to share that with you. And you know, I think that anybody can do this. Pretty basic stuff, and go into as much detail as you want. So I appreciate your time. I'm going to leave you with that, and think about, if you do this, what you can add to it after that, to put in some detail. You can put an island out here with some trees on it, put a beach up front with some trees coming over. Just so many things you can do. It's your world. You do whatever your imagination, you follow wherever it'll take you. So I'm going to leave y'all alone this morning, and certainly appreciate you spending some time with me on a Sunday morning, and hopefully we'll see you all soon. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and have a great day. Thanks.